Perfect.
Who better than Derek, Pat, Andrew, the wrestling crew? Man, they bout to put an end to y'all careers like a finishing move. They bout to give y'all facts on these cats that's fighting on these mats. Y'all can't see them like John Cena. Even if y'all had 20/20 vision, y'all better listen, pay attention, and take notes down and realize that it's not your time now. And watch these three kings take the crown. Hey, hey.
Weekend, we're talking wrestling on Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Pat and Derek.
Hey.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today we're sitting with none other than G.L.O.W's Foxy and Rich, Roxy Astor. How's everything going?
Hey, everything's great, but you can keep the Rich out. The Foxy I like. I'm working on the Rich, but everything's going good.
I borrowed it from one of your raps.
Oh, my name is Roxy. Oh, I call myself Foxy?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, maybe some of the other girls do, but I just consider myself as Roxy. I'm humble.
So let's talk about the rebirth of G.L.O.W. How excited have you been now that it's all over the internet and around the world?
Oh, well, hey, we've been here. It's like, what took you guys so long to discover us? We've been here for 30 freaking years. And I don't know if your age, which if you guys sound a little young, like old enough to be my kids, but we were back like, 86, 87, 88, 89. I had a son that was born in 89. Okay, so any of you guys are around that number, 28?
Yeah. I am 28.
Okay, so you guys are kind of... Wait, I'm going to turn this around on you guys, okay?
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about discovering G.L.O.W., the originals?
Well, I've kind of known about G.L.O.W. for a while, but now I've been taking more of an interest in watching, and I actually was very impressed with all the quality of the matches, the raps, the production, and everything.
Are you talking about the original?
Yeah, the original.
Okay, we can call ourselves the OGs. How's that?
The OGs, yeah. I like
because
that.
the OGs know how to rap.
Definitely.
I want to teach the G.L.O.W. Netflix girls how to rap. I'm sorry, but when I was watching that part, and I watched all 10 episodes, and I'm watching this, and Kate Nash, who's the singer, and I'm listening to G.L.O.W, that's their name. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, come on. That's the big ta-da.
So speaking of, the OG G.L.O.W, we'll call it, can you kind of tell us, like, how was the process of you getting into G.L.O.W?
Well, I think it's always kind of interesting because I've done a lot of interviews and I'm listening to the other girls' interviews, and we all have our own stories that, nothing is, for one thing, it's nothing like the G.L.O.W Netflix, so, and there's no Santa Claus, you guys. Okay, just want to let you know that. Mine was, I was a fan of G.L.O.W. I was watching G.L.O.W every Saturday morning. I didn't want to be an actress. I didn't want to be a wrestler. I was a hairdresser from Auburn, Washington.
Nice.
And, I was a fan. I mean, back then, what did we have? Like 6 channels? Well, I'm telling you guys, because you guys were young. We had 6 channels. So I would watch a little bit of WWF at the time. And then G.L.O.W came on, and it was something it was like a live cartoon. It was so glittery, and, it was just over the top. And it's funny because how I'm saying it is how I hear fans explain about it, but I was actually a fan, and there was a banner across the TV, and I guess season 1 and season 2 girls quit. There was a whole big thing with David McLean and Matt Cimber, so I think the girls walked off except for like Hollywood, Mount Fiji, and who else? Trying to think. Sally, she was in all 4 seasons. So there was a few of them that stayed, but they had to film like really quick. So they had to come up with these girls really, really quick and train us. So I actually went to an audition, but I went into the audition just determined that I was going to be a bad girl. So that the picture that I sent in that got me the audition was standing next to a Harley with a black leather skirt and ratted out hair, like something like from Poison. And so I sent that picture in, and I got an audition like the following week. And like 2 weeks later, I was driving to Vegas, and that's when all the girls got there. It was like one day, and I think there was about 100 girls there. So it was kind of like, you kind of size everybody down. You're thinking, there's 100 girls here, but there's like only 30 places. So, it's like it's do or die or kill each other just to get a spot. But the weird thing is like the girls would just like, I'm not doing this, because there was 4 to an apartment. And a lot of the girls did not want to do it, and they didn't want to give up their apartments in Los Angeles or where they were. But I was like, hey, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
What was it like staying in the Glow house?
Well, the Glow house was something that we filmed in. Okay, I'll give you a whole scenario. When we arrived, we thought that we were going to be in the Riviera. And I kind of thought that would be so cool to room in the Riviera. So first season and second season got to live there. And then we were stuck, third and fourth were stuck in these apartments, and because it was right down the street from the ring. And there was like 4 girls to an apartment, and we were all squished in, but we really, really had a good time. It was, it was like a sorority. It was a lot of fun, a lot of cliques, but it was a lot of fun. But I was smart. I stayed neutral. To this day.
So when you guys, first started with Glow, when you first got there, did you expect it to, get as big as it did?
Well, you mean back then?
Yeah.
Okay, no internet. The only time I think we really knew how big we were, because we would practice our matches Monday through Friday, and then we'd film or do a rehearsal Friday and then film on Saturday, and then we would take off our makeup and go party Saturday night. And, nobody came up to us and said, oh my God, it's you, unless they were at the live show. But when we went on tour and we were actually doing, like, I remember doing Card Sharks, and the girls were doing Family Feud and, all these shows that we were on, that's when everything kind of hit. And so we started doing the tours, and people were like, scream like, oh my God, it's Mount Fiji, Hollywood, Sally. And it was just going through the airport even. That's when we realized how we started doing some of the old shows back then, and we were actually out there, because when you're in Vegas and you're just in this little tiny place and you just have the ring and just the apartment, you have no clue what's going out there, not with internet. So we really had no idea.
Yeah,
and in fact, I think some of us still have no clue how big we were.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. Like, when I was looking it up, like, I saw you guys had bigger ratings than the WWF, the NWA, the AWA. That's like some serious stuff right there.
Well, yeah, and from what I heard, allegedly, Vince wanted to buy Glow back then, but they weren't selling. And can you imagine if Vince would have bought Glow, like how it would have totally turned the women's, like when they went through that whole, what was that, the Attitude Era and everything? Yeah. Things could have totally changed. So I kind of feel like Glow started and ended when it should have.
So what was everyone's thoughts when they heard that it had ended? Everyone backstage, when they all got wind of the news that it was ending in 1990, because it kind of ended abruptly. So what was everyone thinking in the reaction?
Okay, now the thing on that, it wasn't like we were filming and we were like on a hit show, like something like Friends or something. Everybody kind of, we filmed what we had to film, and then everybody went back to LA, and we were going to film a movie. So everybody was already they were gone, and just taking a vacation and just regrouping for the next season. And then we started calling each other going, what's going on? I actually took off because I was having a baby, but I was going to come back and do the movie and come back but there was nothing to come back to. And we were all just like, what happened? What's going on? You know, there's no internet. Nobody quite knew what happened. And it was just really like you're on such a high. And then you're just like, you got to go back to reality. And that was kind of tough for a lot of the girls. But after that, there was, I think, Pow and Foxy Boxing with Jackie Stallone. But I walked away from all that, hoping to come back. But a lot of the other girls, they wrestled like in Japan and still did other federations. But to me, nothing quite got even close, you know, to G.L.O.W. back then. So it was, they're just trying to do something really quick to take G.L.O.W.'s place. And I don't think it worked.
So let's go back to the 1980s. You're watching G.L.O.W. Can you reflect how did it make you feel empowered that these women were going out there and wrestling every week? And then on the flip side of it, did you feel empowered yourself when you got to the ring and stuff like that?
Yeah. I felt I had to be a part of this. These were some of the strongest women I've ever seen. We didn't have like too many role models. I mean, back then it was like, I don't know, I think it was Charlie's Angels and who were the other ones? Wonder Woman, and you know, we had that. But with G.L.O.W., there was like all shapes and sizes, so like everybody could relate. But that's what a lot of people tell me, that they looked up to us, that we were these really strong women. But now going back to me when I walked out, and what I felt so insecure walking out in that little tiny outfit and that red hair. So I overcompensated and put the hand up and just became Roxy and kind of made my way through. Because, you know, I was looking at, you know, Sally in Hollywood. They're so gorgeous. And I'm like, I'm in this green, ugly outfit. Number one, I wanted to be a bad girl, and this red hair. So I just, you know, I played the part as best as I could. So everything I did was kind of over the top. So it was just kind of, I think, out of insecurity, though.
So as far as like the hairstyles go, you being a hairdresser, did you help out the ladies with their hairstyles?
Well, yes, I did. I did Beasties. I did Beastie's hair. I did Stinky. I did Gremlina's hair. And I did other girls. And then I did my enemy, which was Godiva. And somehow I turned her hair accidentally yellow. So I didn't do that on purpose.
That would have been a great storyline.
But you don't have the girl that you wrestle. Yeah, do your hair. That's just not a wise idea.
Yeah.
Did you have like any rap skills before the G.L.O.W.?
No, but I used to go to like the clubs with the funky music, like the Gap Band and you know, just all that Lakeside. So I was into like that scene back then. You know, like the funky music, where a lot of the girls were into the rock and roll. I like that funk music. That I was watching it's so funny because my ex-partner Tiffany, I used to go to these clubs that were just like all funk music, and you could tell by the way I danced. My ex-partner was a stripper, and when we did our raps and our blooper raps, you could totally see it. You could see where I came from, and you could see where she came from. You got to look that at the G.L.O.W. bloopers. It's very funny.
Oh man! Now, and speaking of Tiffany, how did
you guys are going to Google that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're going to Google that, aren't you?
Yeah. And speaking of Tiffany, kind of how did that tag team come together?
We got along. She's very, like, she played a real ditz as a partner, but she's actually really, really bright. And none of us put ourselves together. It was Matt Cimber who saw something like in her and something in me, and we were the replacements for Tina Ferrari and Ashley. And you know, and my concern too was, because Tina Ferrari, I mean, I was a fan of Tina Ferrari and Ashley. I thought they were very cool, and she's very buffed. And I'm like, I didn't want to follow her exactly, you know, when we were picked. And I remember we were all sitting around, and that's when our characters were given, and then it was your Roxy Astor from Park Avenue Knockout, and they kind of get, I don't know if you've heard the Astor family, they're very rich in New York City. So that's how I got the name Astor. And Astor also meaning a big keister, a big ass. and then Tiffany Mellon from Mellon Financial, I think she was the only one in the 80s that had a boob job.
Oh, man. That's funny.
So the director kind of saw humor in, well, there's Tiffany Mellon and Roxy Astor. So he had a good brain like that, or, a pervish brain, but whatever it was, it worked.
How would you explain the transition as far as you guys stepping in and taking the place for Tina Ferrari?
You know what? Some people, because, if I were a fan, I would be like, you know what? Who does she think she is? I would have been like, girl, no, give it up. So when the director told me this, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So the good thing is I didn't really follow what she did, but kind of created my own good bad girl. And the director let me do it, thank God. So we weren't exactly alike. In fact, I think we were kind of opposite. And also she's from, Beverly Hills. We're from New York, but New York, you can be a little tougher. Where Beverly Hills, you're a little bit more, glamorous. So I got to be like a tough Park Avenue knockout. But it was, I think I just kind of followed, I didn't want to be exactly like her. Yeah. So, you either liked me or you didn't. So I find out later that people liked me.
Yeah.
Guys, or you go, yes, we like you.
Yeah, we definitely, of course.
Still waiting.
So can you kind of tell us, how much of the Roxy Astor character, how much of that was actually you?
Well, my kids, as a joke, bought me a T-shirt called Roxy Mode. So I guess that is a lot like me in the way, but I'm a really down-to-earth person, and I'm pretty much a tomboy. I love wearing jeans or ripped up, shirts and Nikes and Converse. I'm a tomboy. So to dress like that, to film or walk out like that was, I hated it. When I took off, my outfit at night and go out and party, I would wear leather and, almost walking out with a whip. I was very opposite of that. So it was a stretch for me, but I embraced it and I just had fun with being that character. But my kids tell me I'm pretty much her. And my one daughter, who's 26, and she's the only daughter who's going to be a wrestler of a Glow Girl. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
She was in wrestle. Yeah, she was in Wrestlicious, and in fact, she had an audition in WWE.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck.
Mm-hmm. She gets mad at me and tells me to stop being Roxy.
Oh yeah! Wow, man.
Yeah, stop it. Stop being Roxy. Yeah. I go, I'm not. What are you talking about? This is just me. So I'm very the way Roxy always uses her hands up, and I'm very expressive like that. That's just me, and very outgoing.
And she, I know you're saying she tried out for WWE, NXT, I believe. How much of her wrestling did you actually help her with and teach her?
Oh God, she was horrible to be around.
Oh man!
Oh my God, I wanted to kill her. In fact, she just texted me, goes, "You want to go work out?" Yeah, at 5. I can't, and we start fighting. I can't. This is how we are, though. I think because we're so much alike. Actually, my boyfriend trained her. He's a world kickbox champion, Dan Magnus, and 2-time world kickbox champion. And he's got patience like nobody I've ever seen. Because I would have killed her. I would have been in jail. This wouldn't have worked. So what he did, okay, I reached out to somebody at WWE, and like within 6 weeks when I said, this is the daughter of a Glow girl. She had to get ready and trained within 6 weeks. And can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Well,
and she did. She got ready, but it was the worst 6 weeks of my life.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, we wanted to kill her. And in fact, she was there. I forgot she had a roommate that, and she got a maybe, which to me, a maybe in WWE is a yes, but let's see you some more. Let's see you out there. And I think she got a little discouraged. So now it's kind of like with all this Glow stuff, people are going, wow, there's a Glow girl out there that can wrestle, So, I mean, this would honestly be the time for her to get out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How strict were they on you on training and preparing yourself during Glow?
They were very strict, and that's what's so funny is like when I watched the Glow Netflix thing and the robot came out with the drugs, I'm like, okay, yeah, right, I wish. That would have been nice.
Yeah, right?
Now, we had to get up in the morning at like I think 6 or something and go to the warehouse, and we had to exercise. Can you imagine that? And then it was like we just had to practice every day, but we wrote our matches, but the director would tell us the outcome. But we wrote our own matches, and I think that's what made it fun, because we didn't have writers for us. We had one, but he would kind of help girls that had a problem with writing, where I'm actually a writer. So I had fun with my matches. I always wanted like a story and an ending and a purpose and everything, and let's do something crazy. And that's why I think my best match was with Dementia, where we switched characters when Big Bad Mama put her voodoo on us, and then she ended up playing Roxy, and I ended up playing Dementia. You guys have to watch that match. It's pretty funny.
Oh, man. That sounds great.
That's a classic.
And I was going to ask, like, with the new Glow that's out on Netflix right now, like, how much of that is actually, like, similar or can relate to the OG Glow, or is it like you just watch it and you're like, what the hell is this? This is not like similar at all.
Well, okay, but what they're claiming is that it's loosely based. So I got to look that up in the dictionary because I'm really confused on loosely based. So I'm really confused. There's some similarities. Like you look at the girl, Sheila She-Wolf with the dark eyes. That's what Dementia had. But she's kind of a cross between Dementia and Gremlina. And then one of the girls, the Britannia.
Yeah.
She talks about how she gets a white horse, could die to have a white horse. So, I mean, I think they're kind of doing that, to let our older fans know that, hey, this is your little dabble of the OGs or something. I don't know. But they're trying to get, like, the new fans in. The thing that I see what is the same is that when the Mark Mayer and the Sam Sylvia character said, hey, you guys all have to move into one place together. Yeah. That's the way this is going to work. And that's true. We all had to move together and like just buckle down and do our reps and practice and all that. And the thing is though too, we had our singular reps. They didn't have their singular raps. They had just that 1 week, that one rap at the end.
Yeah.
So I think getting the girls together was, and you have your girls, with their problems and, but that's just getting girls together. So, that's bound to happen.
Definitely.
But the miscarriage scene, I'm sorry. I didn't like that.
Yeah. So, and there was, no one was sleeping with their best friend's husbands or anything like that either, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. Okay. The two main characters, the Betty Gilpin and the Allison Brie.
Yeah.
That was Hollywood and Sally to a T. They were fighting over a boyfriend.
Oh my God.
So that was their whole thing. So Matt Cimber liked to get them in the ring, and when you guys have to Google one of their fights, you will see some serious duking it out because that was real.
Oh my goodness. That's
That was real. But that was Matt kind of, like going, yeah, okay, I see this. And he keeps his ears open through the other girls and going, okay, those two are fighting. Let me get them in there. And that'll give them, like how they were in the G.L.O.W Netflix.
Yeah.
So when you guys had the viewing party, what was the reaction?
Did you guys see that at all? Did you see the viewing party?
No, I saw you guys had one. I didn't see anything besides it.
Well, you gotta watch it. You have to watch it, but I will tell you. Okay. We did it like, it started off with 3 G.L.O.W girls and get together and we'll watch it. Then all of a sudden, we were doing so many interviews like Washington Post, New York Post. New York Post even posted about my party. Tracy Meltzer, Roxy Astor is having a party in Reseda, a G.L.O.W Netflix party. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the New York Post for my party. And so it ended up being like 7 G.L.O.W girls, and then my daughter, she did all she baked all the cupcakes for it, and then we started inviting a little bit of press, and then it just started growing, and we had, I think, close to 100 people there, and then we started doing shots of tequila.
Oh, man. Wow.
And then we were kind of like, okay, we're ready. We're going to watch the first one. Now, we had, you know who Matilda the Hun is?
Yeah. She was a big redhead lady.
Okay, the bearded lady in Spaceballs, the G.L.O.W legend.
Yeah.
Okay, now, my thing is she's her and Mount Fiji, they're like, them in G.L.O.W.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it, Mount Fiji is she's bedridden. She's in a bed due to her problems in, wrestling and weight and things like that. And Matilda the Hun is in a wheelchair. So, and I think my thing that I have a problem with this G.L.O.W Netflix more than anything is if you guys were going to help anybody or give a cameo, give it to Matilda.
Yeah.
Give it to a girl that really needs it. Just give her a cameo. I mean, because I think the fans would have freaked out if they saw her like in the abortion clinic as the receptionist. Oh my God, there's Matilda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it would have been kind of cool because they have a lot of other wrestlers, but they kept every single G.L.O.W girl out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So, yeah, and we're all kind of like, well, wait, did they call you? No. Well, did they call you? No. And we're like, they didn't call any of us. And they're like, well, maybe they'll call us next season. Well, you know what? Maybe they won't.
Yeah.
But either way, they've also got the big budget of, Netflix behind them and stuff. So at the viewing party, when we were finally ready to turn on, the first episode, I'm looking over at Matilda and, we're watching the first one. And if you guys can vision this, she's in a wheelchair and her fingers are like bandaged up because she has lupus too. And she's in so much pain and she's having a good time that night. The moment the G.L.O.W Netflix went on and she's watching it, you just saw like this sadness in her eyes. Like, this is like so wrong. And we only watched one and we just shut it off. And then we put one of her matches on, and then she was happy and everything was good. Everybody wanted to watch the original G.L.O.W matches. She started singing Raw Meat with the original writer of Raw Meat, and then that's when it was fun.
Now, besides the viewing party, you guys actually do Afterglow Fan Parties as well. Can you kind of tell us like how that came about and about that experience?
Well, gee, so glad you asked. Okay. It was the G.L.O.W Netflix. That was like 2012. And, that was a success. It was a hit and everything was good. But as all things, even in movies, it dies out. And I swear I was just sitting in my living room going, I got to do something G.L.O.W, but not a G.L.O.W. Not wrestling. It's just got to be like our stories or something, or what can I do? So I've never done a Kickstarter before. So if you guys can even Google it. I did my first Kickstarter and called it the Afterglow Fan Party. Yeah. But at this point, I had no idea if I only wanted to raise $5,000. And I wanted to do it only in 30 days. And so I told myself, if I cannot raise $5,000 in 30 days, It's not meant to be, and I walk away from it. So I hit up Matilda, and I didn't know her at the time. I go, Matilda, Roxy Astor here. Would you be interested? And he goes, are you still with the old boyfriend? I go, no, I got a new boyfriend. She goes, okay, call me if you raise the money. I go, okay. And then I call the other girls. They're like, yeah, sure, Roxy, we'll be there. But the funny thing is, I remember calling Gremlina, and I go, Gremlina, what do you think of this idea? What do you think? Can we get it together and we make it an Afterglow fan party and make it a fan hot seat and we interact with the Glow fans and questions? And she's like, oh, that's a great idea. And then before the Kickstarter was even put up, I was in an interview with MTV, and then she opens up her mouth and goes, hey, yeah, we got a Kickstarter up. I'm like, MTV, it's not up yet. So I hustled, got the Kickstarter up, and the weird thing is, 3 days before the Kickstarter was over, we got $1,000 donation from a guy named Janine. Does all the Glow artwork that you see of the Glow girls, and we made it over our 5,000.
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then the funny thing is, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta actually do this. I'm like, okay, I raised the money, I said I was gonna do this, now what do I do? So I started calling up venues, thinking, yes, this will be easy. I got money I can put down on a venue, and when you're in LA, they want you to have something for 6 weeks. There is like not just a one night really cool venue. And then finally I had like 15 places that I called, and I finally called like the Acme Comedy Theater. And it was the most perfect venue because you didn't want to get anything with 5,000 people because it wasn't meant to sell out. It was just meant to film and just see if there was a vibe, with the Glow girls and everything. And in fact, it's on YouTube under the Afterglow Fan Party. You guys can actually see some footage of that, and it's very funny. And there was actual chemistry there. And I'm like, ever since then, I have been obsessed from October 25th, 2014. So
and
that was me with an obsession.
And doing these things, like the cruises, the parties, they've been important because, they kind of kept the Glow brand in everyone's heads and everything throughout these 30 years. It kind of pushed the documentary, it pushed this, the Netflix series, which is, exploded onto the scene and everything. So what kind of made you, is this what made you kind of become the face of Glow after the series ended?
Well, it was actually my idea, and I even trademarked Afterglow Original Glow Girls. I knew that if I was going to go into this, and if there was something that night, that my whole big thing was, I'm going to get a show out of this for the girls. I'm going to get something because these girls are amazing, and there is no other group of girls like this. So I ended up doing a DVD and passing them out. We were at the first RuPaul's, and then that's when Donald Goodland, or actually Jay Williamson from Cruise Planner, said, how would you guys like to do a cruise? And I'm thinking, yeah, that's great. We'll each get like 20 grand, and that's not the way it works. So we did our first cruise out of Long Beach, and the only thing I could offer the girls was a free cruise. I had 11 Glow girls on the first cruise, and it was amazing. People were walking off the ship crying, like, I wish it was longer. And I did my second Afterglow fan party like I did it in the Acme Comedy Theater. And I thought, you know what? I have something here. There's something here. So, and then I didn't think I was going to do the last cruise, which was last February, but we ended up doing an 80s style cruise. It was called the 80s, and we had an 80s prom. We had Joya Bruno from Expose. Funny thing is, I even got Tina Ferrari and Ashley on the last cruise.
Oh, man.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Matilda was on the first one. We had 11 Glow girls on that one. And the first cruise, I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. This is a lot of work. And the night before, like, hey, guess what? We're having another cruise. And we booked almost everybody from the first one.
Wow.
Okay, so the second, it was the same thing. I didn't know I was going to do it again. And it surpassed all of them. We're already like double booked what we had last time, and we have 8 months to go. So these cruises are meant to keep the Glow girls out there. They're meant to keep the brand out there. I'm not making a dime off of it, but I'm having the best time interacting with the fans and keeping the Glow and the Afterglow brand alive, which is the original, the OGs, you know?
Yeah.
Because this is Hollywood. We can easily be forgotten. We were forgotten for a long time.
How would you describe Matt Cimber?
In how many words? Okay, I have to say this, though. I've never seen him do coke. So there.
Oh.
I've never, ever seen him do coke. He's got a good eye. Like, he can see things that other people, that's why he's a director. Like a funny story with Gremlina, she's got Turner syndrome. And, that's why she's shorter and she's got a different look. And she walked into a casting thing for Matt Cimber, and he just kind of shoot her out or whatever. And, she turned around and flipped him off. And he goes, "Can you come back here?" And she got hired.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's the way he did things. He would do things like even to me, he said, "Roxy," he goes, "you're going to hate yourself in 20 years on TV if you don't start exercising." I go, "Okay." So what did I do? I started running 2 miles a day, and he was right.
Oh, man.
The way he did it was a little abrupt, but you know what? For me, I'm kind of like, you know what? You're right. And thank God I did, because I was okay with how I looked back then.
Yeah.
But it's, he's a director. He sees things. So did I have a problem with him? No, I was just happy to be on the show, but I didn't have a problem with him. If a girl did, it was her own personal problem with him. Right. But I've never, ever seen him do coke.
Now, Roxy...
That's why he's pissed. That's why he's mad, though.
Let's do a little fantasy warfare. You're back at the Riviera Hotel. You have one more match. Who would you want to wrestle?
Would it be a Glow Netflix girl, or would it be a Glow Glow girl, OG girl?
It can be any. It can even be a WWE wrestler if you want. If you had a dream scenario match, who would be the opponent?
Oh God. Okay, I got to go with the Glow Netflix.
Okay.
Okay. It's got to be Alison Brie. I got to toughen that woman up. Okay, I have never heard so much whining in my life.
Oh my goodness!
I would love to see
I want to ram her head into a turnbuckle. I want to throw her off the top ropes and do an elbow drop.
Vince, I hope you hear this.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Well, no, I mean, because there was an article that came out. It was Vanity. And they were saying, how those Glow girl, and you know what, and I guess that's a compliment, because she plays her part well as being that whiny, and then being stronger, so I get that. So maybe I want to wrestle the whiny one in the beginning, because then she did toughen up at the end, But Vanity said that these girls, we would totally basically whip their asses. Love you, Vanity.
So, kind of on the flip side as well, can you tell us what was your favorite match that you had in Glow?
Oh, yeah, it was a Dementia match. It was Dementia. And the thing is, I do videos for the cruises, and we end up putting that on, and a lot of the girls didn't see that match. And my whole thing with that would see Dementia never talked. Her character didn't. It was just her eyes. But she got to over-exaggerate instead of walking around like a zombie with an axe. She got to over-exaggerate and act like Roxy. And she had her little compact out and her little makeup with her black eyes. It was just so funny. And I always tell people, she played Roxy better than I ever did. She was so good. In fact, I spoke with her 2 weeks ago through Facebook, and we were talking about that match, and she said that was her favorite because all the other matches she got to play one way, and that was just, kind of walking around dead, with the axe and that. This, she got to be more of a character until she became the Black Widow.
So we're talking about all the different characters in the OG Glow. Can you just talk about the role that Gigi had with you guys backstage?
Oh my gosh, she was amazing. We all looked up to her. She was so sweet, and she was in love with Matt Cimber. She was she kept calling us Coach. Hey, Coach. Coach. That was her nickname for him. And I swear, like, she's like this, big woman, and like this smile, and we walked through an airport and kids would run up to her and just, they love her, and it's everywhere we went, because she was one, with the size of her and her face and how her hair was. Everybody knew that was Fiji. And the funny thing is, when we walk with her, it was the best to stand next to her, because then you can get recognized. Otherwise, nobody really knows who we were. But the kids loved her. She was as nice as she was, like, on stage and backstage. Always nice. In fact, I went to visit her in the hospital. Sonny and I did about a year ago. And she was still funny and laughing. And I think my favorite skits that she used to do were the Carmen Miranda skits. Did you ever see those?
Nah.
I think they did a little bit of that in the G.L.O.W. documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Where she goes, tika, tika, tika,
Yeah,
tika, 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 hola. Yeah.
Oh, man. And can you tell us, what was your favorite part about working with G.L.O.W?
My favorite part, besides the free buffet and the free rent,
good catering.
Honestly, just to be a part of something that I was a fan of, and to work really hard at it, and just kind of like be one of the top characters. To me, that was great, but I never took it for granted. I never thought I was better than anybody else. I made a lot of really good friends back then that I'm still friends with now. Good girls and bad girls. So I think it's just like the friendships back then, and then even that we're still friends like 30 years later. It's crazy. Like MTV, Melody Trouble Vixen lives down the street from me. And Matilda and I, we talk every week. We're good friends. Yeah. I always make sure she's doing okay. So, and actually going out and partying with Beastie and Daisy, that was fun at
night. And all these years later, you're still friends with all these, your co-workers and everything. You're still friends with everyone 30 years later. The brand is bigger than ever. So what made G.L.O.W have the staying power that it has had?
Well, I think number one, the way the whole mystique with it ending the way it did, like for the 4 years, the whole mystique with the real the footage, it never got bought. It was never out there. It was just fans that had it videotaped on their VHS. So there was always a mystique with G.L.O.W, and we were so campy and just so over the top. It was like between laughing, hee-haw, wrestling, or whatever. But there was such a mystique with G.L.O.W that I think people always kind of, because the questions are, what happened to G.L.O.W? And they're asking, like, even now, what happened? What really happened? Now, if G.L.O.W would have lasted longer, like another 10 years, I don't think it would have had that mystique. I don't think it would have been the same thing. I even think even the WWF, I think things would have been different for the women. So, however it happened, it was meant to be, even though it was really hard back then, because we're here right now talking about it. Yeah. And if it was still here, I don't think it would have had the impact that it did.
So going back 30 years to now, what's your secret to staying so beautiful?
Okay, the check's in the mail. So, love you guys. Godiva, shut up. Well, I went to the gym today. I go to the gym. Sometimes I get a little chubby because I like to eat, but I work out, and I have a lot of fun with life. I showed up at a G.L.O.W drag show last Saturday, and then I ended up going to a sermon talking about G.L.O.W on Sunday. I am everywhere. Nice. I have fun with life, and I have a lot of passion, and so it's just, you know what? It's being happy, and I think being a good person, and I don't do drugs, I don't drink. Not saying that I didn't, but I lead a clean life, so that really helps too.
So I'll ask my final question. Do you watch women's wrestling today?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I'm probably one of the few Glow girls that actually watch it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on wrestling today for women?
You know what? I think it's so cool how it's evolved, and then NXT is actually sometimes even better than what's going on, and it's so funny because I will end up hating someone like Paige. She's on my nerves when she first came out, and that's WWE like pushing her out there and building her head just so they could pull her back, and Sasha Banks, and you're like, but then they grow on you, and. Charlotte Flair, I have to say, I hated her in the beginning. Hated her. I'm like, she's just following in her dad's footsteps. And I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't she? Yeah. But she has taken the place and done such a great job. Yeah, sure, she would have followed in his footsteps, but she could have blown it.
Yeah.
True. She's done a great job. So Natty Neidhart, she's amazing. She'll always be amazing. Naomi with the glow. You think that's a coincidence? I don't think so. Yeah. You guys?
Yeah,
I feel it.
Naomi's my girl. I love her. I think she's amazing. And I love some of the NXT. Bailey gets on my nerves a little, but I think she's meant to get on people's nerves.
Probably.
All that hugging and stuff.
I could see Bailey in Glow.
Oh, she would have been slapped
down. Are you looking forward to the Mae
She wouldn't have lasted for a week.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you looking forward to the Mae Young tournament?
Yeah, I was kind of watching, like some of the girls that were, Santana Garrett that got thrown out, and I think she got thrown out because she's going over to WoW because WoW got picked up on the El Rey network.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and some of these girls that, they're back in NXT and all that, so it's neat. It's something, because otherwise it's just the same old crap. You can do so many storylines. You can do so much. You have your NXT, but it's so cool to watch, something. And what a great title, Mae Young. Yeah. I watched her match when she was in her wheelchair and a neck brace, and somebody picked her up. You guys remember that match? And threw her through a table.
Bubba Ray.
My gosh. I'm like, I wouldn't do that crap now. And she was how old? Like 80?
Yeah. I like it when they rolled her off the stage.
Oh my gosh, she had to have been tough. And from what I heard, that do you guys remember who she was fighting or who was doing that?
Yeah, Bubba Ray.
The Dudley Boys.
Okay, well, from what I heard, they didn't want to do it. And then she yelled at them and said, you better freaking do it.
Oh, my goodness, wow.
So, she's like, if this is going to be done, it's got to be done right. So, so I think this is great, and it's great with that title, because there was only one Mae Young. And Moolah, by the way, hated us. So just so you guys know, she hated us.
Oh, my goodness. Really?
You were still in her thunder.
Yeah, Moolah hated the Glow Girl. She said we ruined women's wrestling.
Wow.
Oh, man, wow.
But,
hey, just the fact that she mentioned our name, I am just so thrilled with, because I was a fan of Moolah.
I've been doing something right.
Roxy, where can people find you on social media?
Okay, now if you guys are interested in this cruise, let's do that first. Okay. This cruise is going out of New York, going to the Bahamas, 11 Glow girls. There's going to be some surprises. Since this is the year of Glow, it's going to be full of glow. It's going to be over the top glow. And March 4th through the 11th, 2018, you go to www.afterglowatsea.com. And hey guys, if you're over 21, you get a free drink package.
Oh, wow.
Gratuities included. So, you go on this cruise, you party with the Glow Girls, and there's going to be, I think this will be the 4th Afterglow Fan Party show. So yes, I did make it a tradition. And there's going to be a few surprises. There's going to be a masquerade. ball that we're having, like a dance on the cruise. And it's a blast. So you can go there, and if you just want to see, what's going on and everything and prices, just go to the website. And that's run by cruise planners, Donald Goodland. He's the man, and I'm the woman. Okay, so. Just had to remind you guys, okay? I'm on Facebook, Roxy Astor, and yes, I do take new fans on. I will accept your friendship, but please, no pictures.
Oh my God!
yeah, really. Or Roxy Astor 1 on Twitter, or G.L.O.W Wrestling 1 on Twitter. So I am out there. A lot of the G.L.O.W girls are out there, but you still have time to book a cruise. You guys should go on this cruise.
Yeah, it sounds great. Awesome. Yeah.
We're in the area. We're in Jersey.
I just said free alcohol.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, you had us. Yeah.
It's gonna be and the gratuities are paid on the alcohol.
Wow, that's awesome. You can't beat that. That's awesome.
I hear some drinkers there.
Yeah, man.
And the cool thing, like at dinner every night, we sing our rap, "The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling," and it's so funny because we were on at dinner. There was like a bunch of older people looking at us, and they were like evil-eyeing us when we sang it. And then somebody said, "Hey, those are wrestlers," and they totally left us alone for the rest of the week.
That's funny.
And for us, we're Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WrestlingIQ101.com. And we'll see you guys soon.
You have just listened to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast, powered by B Plus Player Radio.